Following Darth Vader's defeat to Obi-Wan on Mustafar and the brutal injuries he sustained, his master Darth Sidious had to do everything in his power to keep his new apprentice alive. Of course, Vader would have to rely upon his suit and cybernetics to live, but he would have a place at his master's side, helping the Sith continue their domination over the galaxy and pursuing the secrets of the dark side. But even though Sidious kept Vader alive and allowed him to continue to serve as his apprentice despite his failure, it must be asked, what did Sidious truly think of Vader's defeat on Mustafar? In this video expose, we'll answer this question, looking at how Sidious came to view Vader after his defeat in both canon and the former legends. Let's start with the canon version of events. In canon, specifically within the 2015 Darth Vader comic series, Sidious saw Vader's defeat on Mustafar as a monumental threat to his new order and his overall goals. Of course, Sidious would ultimately decide that Vader should live after his defeat, but only after exhausting all other possibilities, concluding that if the Empire was to survive, then Vader needed to as well. But this still doesn't fully account for Sidious's true thoughts, and it would be Vader's failure to protect the Death Star in the Battle of Yavin that would bring Sidious's views of Vader back to Mustafar. Following Yavin, after Sidious revealed a secret decades-long plan to create cyborgs that might be strong enough to one day replace Vader, the Dark Lord reminded his apprentice of his failure on Mustafar, telling Vader, "Do not underestimate how much you disappointed me on Mustafar. I saved you, but you showed how far off the mark you fell." Although Vader was shocked at the revelation that Sidious kept a secret plan for decades to replace him, the point was made. Sidious allowed Vader to survive, but his defeat to Obi-Wan was telling. It wasn't merely a disappointment, but something that would force Sidious to create contingency plans for Vader's replacement. In issue number 20 of the comic series, Sidious goes even further in giving his true thoughts on Vader's defeat directly to his apprentice. As Sidious explained, he had been entirely successful. The Jedi were destroyed, the Republic transformed into the Galactic Empire, and Anakin had emerged as Sidious always knew he would. But Mustafar ruined all of these preceding successes. For Sidious, Vader's defeat on Mustafar jeopardized his entire plan, everything he had worked for up to that point, and the important work that still needed to be completed. Sidious wasn't arrogant enough to think he could do everything alone. As per the rule of two, he needed a powerful apprentice to unlock the final secrets of the dark side. While Sidious would conclude that Vader was his best chance at the moment, he still proceeded with the knowledge that Vader's failure could cost him everything. Therefore, in canon, Sidious wasn't just extremely disappointed with Vader's defeat. It was much more than that. It represented a failure that jeopardized Sidious's entire empire, and caused the Dark Lord to constantly be searching for a worthy replacement. In Legends, there are some similarities, but as we'll see, while Vader's defeat on Mustafar was unforeseen, Sidious's ultimate view of Vader's power and his place within the Empire and as a Sith apprentice was never truly in jeopardy. Our best source in Legends for this topic is the novel Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader by James Luceno. In the novel, we see a much more forgiving Sidious, one who recognized that at the time of Vader's duel with Obi-Wan, Vader had still not yet fully embraced the dark side, still between the worlds of the light and dark. In fact, as Sidious remembered the events only weeks later, he referred to his apprentice then not as Vader but as Anakin, seeing it as Anakin's unforeseen defeat. Therefore, one gets the sense that Sidious really isn't even judging Vader's worth as a Sith Lord. But whereas in canon, Sidious immediately questioned Vader's worth and chose to seek out worthy replacements, this option was quickly rejected by the Dark Lord in Legends, seen not just as unneeded, but impossible. Sidious devoted himself to saving Vader because he knew there would be no one stronger. He would have to discover a way to manipulate the midichlorians to bring Anakin's equal into existence, something he wasn't willing or able to do. Therefore, in Legends, replacing Vader wasn't an option. Sidious already had the most powerful apprentice in the galaxy, and he would continue Vader's destiny as planned. There's another significant break from canon in Legends. In Dark Lord, Sidious doesn't even really see Vader's defeat as having jeopardized anything of significance. Certainly, a Vader dependent upon cybernetics merely to breathe wasn't foreseen. But the galaxy was still Sidious's, and the Jedi Order was crushed, humbled, and of no concern. Even more, Vader's weaknesses after Mustafar were seen as merely psychological rather than physical. And when Vader finally let go of his bloodlust against the Jedi and became covetous of Sidious's power in the dark side in the early weeks of the Empire, Sidious was confident he had reawakened the incredible power and potential in Vader. Vader would become a powerful apprentice, and in many ways, the events of Mustafar were behind them. While Vader would be reminded of his failure within Legends, Dark Lord shows that unlike in the current canon, Sidious didn't see Vader's defeat as having jeopardized all of his work up to that point, and the work that still needed to be completed. After his mission to Kashyyyk in Legends, Vader was relatively at the same point Sidious had always imagined. And certainly, Sidious was not actively creating contingency plans in the early days of the Empire to find a suitable replacement for Vader. So there we have it, what Sidious truly thought of Vader's defeat on Mustafar, as seen in both canon and Legends. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions. Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. Or perhaps follow us on Twitter, @SWReadingClub, for updates regarding the channel. Or support the channel through Patreon for access to exclusive rewards and discussions. If not for me, for worthy replacements.